it's great to speak with you. So we're here at CPAC. Could you just start by telling me what CPAC means to you? Why you are here. What who you're trying to reach here.
Sure. So I, people know me because I started an organization called #WalkAway, and I'm a former Democrat and former liberal who walked away from the Democratic Party, and we've created a movement of people who are walking away. So in this very strange way, CPAC kind of means a lot to me because in my former Democrat liberal days, I used to think that this was a convention for Nazis and racists and white supremacists, and now actually these are kind of my people, and what's really cool is I kind of went from hating like the CPAC crowd to actually being welcomed by it, and I'm actually speaking, and I've been speaking at CPAC for years now, so it's always kind of this very kind of nostalgic and sentimental experience for me to come here because it shows me where I started and where I've been and where I am now.
Absolutely. So can you tell me, what drove that for you, that walk away? What led you to switch parties?
Well, I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 after voting for Barack Obama twice in a lifetime of voting for Democrats. And when Trump got elected, it was like an earthquake, like it just everything became disrupted. And I was personally disrupted. I mean, literally like angry, confused, outraged, scared. And so I went on a journey of research to try to understand how it happened. Why would anyone vote for this man? And so I started asking all these questions and researching and going back and watching all of these media clips and these moments in proper context. And I started to realize after months of research that Donald Trump was not my enemy, but the media that I'd been trusting my entire life was my enemy. And that essentially I'd been brainwashed and manipulated by propaganda, anti-Trump propaganda. And then two things were happening at the same time. I was starting to gain a better understanding of Trump and starting to like him better as a politician, as a president, while also realizing that I couldn't trust anymore the media sources I'd been trusting my entire life. And it was that betrayal that was like the ultimate catalyst to me walking away.
Okay, and how do you educate people who might still be trusting that media that you realize was lying to you? How do you get people to kind of wake up and see what you saw?
Well, I think one of the key things is to take the stories that they're spinning and the narratives that they're creating and present the facts in proper context. What they usually do, one thing that I think the Democrats are very good at is realizing that people have no attention spans anymore, and they're not going to research things for themselves. So this is how they get away with saying things like, Trump had a rally today, and at his rally, he said that we need to drive all black people out of America, and then everyone started clapping. And then they'll show a clip of him saying 3 words and make it seem like that's what he was talking about. And people will believe it because they think that the media doesn't lie, and they think that 3-second clip that they saw corroborates what the media just told them happened. But what you have to do is take that moment and present it to people in proper context and say, look, they lied to you. Again, this is the truth of the situation. Here's what actually happened. Show the whole clip. And then I think also allow people that space to figure it out for themselves. And that's really key because when I was going through my own kind of red pill transition, moment, there were people who, would say to me, "You're so stupid. We've been saying to this, we've been telling you this for years." And then there were the people that were more compassionate, and saying like, "Look, here's something I'd like you to watch. Take a look at it and tell me what you think about it, and give me that space to digest it for myself." It was always those people that gave me that space that had the most impact on me. The people who were saying, "You're so dumb," and we've been telling you this, usually I would disregard what they have to say. So I think if you can allow people a little space, a little freedom, give them some compassion and give them facts, we can change hearts and minds.
Great. And what are 3 major issues for you heading into this election? Like, where are 3 areas that you think need to be revamped completely?
Super simple. Border. Number one, I'm very concerned about what's going on with our border. Number 2, I would say I'm very concerned about woke ideas and woke policies in our schools, in our entertainment industry, in media. So I would say truth and wokeness. But the number one issue for me is weaponization of the justice system. I myself am a person who was, I'll use the word, victimized by the Department of Justice and the FBI. I stood outside of the Capitol for 8 minutes on January 6th, didn't go inside the building, didn't riot, didn't engage in violence or vandalism or theft or destruction. I shot a video. and I uploaded my video to social media. And because I did that, the FBI raided my home, put me in handcuffs, took me to jail. I spent days in jail, and then I went through a 1.5 year long case as a J6er with the Department of Justice. And it has, if I wasn't a stronger person, it would have destroyed my life. You know, at this point, 5 January 6 defendants have committed suicide. And I totally understand why. It's one of the most brutal things that's ever happened in the history of our justice system. And so that is a huge issue for me going into this election.
Great, and just one last question. Projection for 2024, do you feel like we have a Trump victory ahead of us?
Oh, it's a hard question to answer, and we shouldn't believe polls, so I don't want to be an idiot here and be like, well, the polls say, but he is polling well. I mean, that's a fact. And the fact that he's facing like 794 felony charges and 300 criminal cases, and still he's polling better than Biden, I think speaks volumes. And so I never want to get complacent. I never want to say, we got this, don't worry. But I will say that I'm optimistic, and I think that we stand a good shot.